Hi guys, I'm Cecilia,
I'm Bridget.
and today we're going to talk about handheld technology in the classroom. How is it being used, what teachers are saying about it, and what administrators are saying about it. So let's begin by having a look at some of the uses of handheld technology in the classroom. First, let's focus on how teachers are using it. I chose TeacherKit, which is an app that is only available for iPhone and iPad at the moment, but it's the top rated amongst the type of apps because of its multifunctionality. For instance, it has facial recognition software that allows you to take attendance, share with other teachers, the students, and even the parents. It also allows you to collect events, behavioral information, and grades, and also, once again, share it. Teachers' feedback on this app was actually very positive. They said that the most important thing, it allowed them to manage their classroom doing different things at once, which unlocked the time to deliver the content more efficiently. Also, they were saying it was very user-friendly, and it was being embraced by teachers and parents all at once. Let's see now how this technology is being used in the classroom by the students. For example, we found that iPads in education has a variety of apps. The one I just said, 2% was iBooks, textbooks for iPad, which not only provides the content a regular textbook would provide, but it also allows the student to access much more content and, most importantly, create and interact with it, and at the same time share with the teacher and other students. Another way these iPads and iPhones are being used in the classroom is with apps like Poems by Heart, which provides content that at first we would only have by printing or using textbooks for poetry. This app allows you to access not only many different poems, but it also gives you feedback on the time period it was written and on the writer, and it helps you also memorize and learn all of these poems. Besides iPad and iPhones, I found other technology, for example, the student response system or clicker. The way it works is the teacher has its own device on its own handheld device. She or he would ask the question and ask the students to, using their own clicker, provide the answer. What this does is provide real-time information to the teacher and be able to provide feedback and move the content along, whereas before you would have to collect the papers, grade them, and it would turn into a several-day task. Another way students, especially upper class students, are using this software is once again through Apple software. I found Flowboard, which not only allows to present slides like a regular PowerPoint with an overhead projector and whiteboard would do. What it does is through their tablet, it allows them to provide video, documents, galleries, web search content, and present it real life or archive it and share it at a later date. And what I found coolest and most helpful of all is that it provides you feedback on the trends and the stats of who's using your presentation, who's viewing it, and from what devices. Last but not least, this handheld technology is also being used in classrooms for special ed students, for instance, with students that fall in the autism spectrum disorder. They're using something called iPrompts, which the best part of it is it's available not only for iPad and iPhone, it's also for Android, Google, Barnes & Noble, Reader, and Kindle. What iPrompts does essentially is improve attention tasks by students. They increase their understanding of upcoming events by sharing with picture schedules, giving a countdown timer, allows transition between environment and task with, for instance, choice of prompts or an image library to communicate better, and most importantly, empowers the visual thinker to stay organized and communicate their preferences. I found a video that shows us how to use this app, which is very, very simple, and I thought it would be cool to share with you guys. Enjoy.
Welcome to the video tutorial for iPrompts, a customizable communications tool for the iPhone and iPod Touch. iPrompts includes several features that empower individuals with language and behavioral challenges. Caregivers create and present picture schedules, countdown timers, and choice prompts. These visual aids help individuals transition from one activity to the next, understand upcoming events, make choices, and focus on the task at hand. To begin, tap the iPrompts icon, shown here in the bottom left of the iPhone main screen. After iPrompts loads for a few seconds, you'll see a menu of 4 features across the bottom of the screen. The Schedules tab, located in the bottom left, allows you to create picture schedules and social stories using any image you'd like.
Okay, so on that note, that we know how this technology is being used in the classroom, let's have a look at what the teachers are actually saying about this. And to do that, I'm going to use statistics provided by a study that PBS Media Learning provided us with. Using a sample of teachers that attended a media convention, they asked several questions, and here is what they found. They found that 74% of teachers found that this handheld technology in the classroom reinforces and expands the content for the students. It motivates students to learn, and also, most importantly, it responds to different ways of learning styles, meaning no student is left behind. I've found very little negative feedback of how teachers feel about this handheld technology, and I would like to find the key elements that this study found with you guys. Let's have a look at the stats. They found that the most beneficial abilities that this handheld technology provided was it helped them expand the content. Like we mentioned before, we're no longer limited of what is in front of us. This technology unlocks access to much more information. They also believe that it increased the motivation to learn by the student. And like we just mentioned, it addresses different styles of learning. It's largely viewed as a positive with very few negatives, like I just said. Their attitudes towards technology in the classroom varied from, they said 69% of them said that technology allowed them to do much more than before. They found it's a new, exciting way to communicate and engage with students. And also, and what I found key, was that students nowadays are very digital literate, meaning they're using technology outside the classroom, so why not take advantage of it and incorporate it into our classroom? Let's find out now what administrators are saying about it. Yeah, Bridget.
Thanks, Cecilia. All right, so administrators love the whole idea of iPads and, well, handhelds in general in the classroom. I haven't read one bad thing about the handhelds in the classroom. First, I'm going to touch on pocket PCs, then I'm going to move my way to iPads. Well, I'm going to start with Alvin Intermediate School District. It's a school district in Texas, which they had a bond passed that required the purchase of handheld devices for all of its students. So Beverly Walker, the superintendent of the curriculum and instruction, thought that handheld computers had the best price-performance ratio. So the district bought 300 Dell XM Pocket PCs, and they saw a drastic change in the way the students' behavior was in general. They were more motivated doing their work, they had less behavior problems, they were more engaged with their devices than regular traditional learning, because the students, ultimately, they would rather be on a computer learning, typing, trying to figure things out, than writing stuff, reading out of textbooks. You know, like, kids, they love the technology, so why not put it to use? The kids, they actually love the iPads even more, and so do a lot of administrators. So we're going to talk about Burlington High School. It's located right outside of Boston, and they decided it was time to move away from the traditional learning also. So they bought every student an iPad, and they completely eliminated their computer labs and textbooks. So now I'm going to show you a video about the views of the principal and the head of the technology department of the school, and you'll find that they really love it. Alright, there we go.
We talk about what does innovation look like, what does an engaging classroom look like. It's a really incredible time to be a learner right now, but I think it's only incredible if you're giving your students access to the resources that are going to allow them to do great things.
Our students are in a world where technology is around them all the time. We can't expect them to learn if we put them in an environment that doesn't have it.
Our job as administrators is to put more resources on the table for teachers and for students. Now we have every kid in the building walking into their room with an iPad.
The biggest reason the iPad was the device that we could go one-to-one with here at the high school was that we felt the best content delivery device, and it was also the best content creation device. And for the first time, we had it in one package. So students wouldn't have to go to a different device to work on a different task. They could use the iPad for everything in their classes.
El logo especial que tiene mi casa.
The real push that we're going for here at Burlington is towards project-based learning. So now I'm assigning larger projects to students. I'm giving them more freedom to dictate the terms of those projects. They can use the iPad and say, I'm going to do a video, or I'm going to do a paper, or I'm going to do a website. It just opens up far more options for them than we ever had before. I think the way we educate students is fundamentally changing as a result of this.
A lot of...
All right. So as you see, oh, where are we going? As you see, everyone loves the whole idea of the iPads in the classroom. Like I said, like it's more engaging. It makes learning more fun. The iPads, they provide the best content delivery and of creation. The students can get more creative, and they can, create projects. They can do other things in videos, like take pictures, rather than just write an essay or do something like out of a workbook. Like kids rather read on devices anyway, so why not do it there, And also, like they said, it provides a project-based learning, and then that's what the rest of the video goes on to say about why teachers love it so much. The learning is more current using the iPads, and the teachers feel that the textbooks are out of date and they're boring, and like I said, the kids rather read on screens than in a book. They rather do that than do this. But even though like everyone loves the iPads, this one guy, he has many concerns about it. He just says that in order for teachers to use the technology in their classroom, they need to become familiar with the technology. His name is David Mahaly, and he's a principal at the Franklin Academy High School in North Carolina. And he says that he loves the idea of the iPad in the classroom, but he thinks that educators need to be knowledgeable with the technologies with it. He says all school educators need to take the time to learn and discover new apps as well as programs if they're not using iPads to provide the most benefits in the classroom. He says that administrators should identify opportunities where they can demonstrate the benefits of the iPad in schools, that those benefits include for instructional purposes, efficiency and communication purposes, and resource management purposes. So the teachers need to know what to do, and they need to know how to fix problems if the kids have them. So he promotes the iPad, but he just wants the educators to be more educated about them so they can teach with them. He wants the teachers to give the best education they can, but you need to be educated in what you're teaching, basically. He has a bunch of articles on teaching and learning with iPads, so I was reading that and I found that really cool. But then I'm going to talk about, the other day I had a speaker come into my class. He was a principal at William Davies School, and he was just talking about all the technology that they're using and how they have the BYOD program, and he loves it. He loves everything about it because he walks into classrooms and kids are on their phone, but they're all doing their work. They're not just playing on their phones. They're looking up words and using all these different apps, and they're so engaged in their learning, which is really cool, because alright, if I walk into a classroom, unless the kids are it's a really crazy project, which I see all the time because I'm a substitute, the kids, they aren't really engaged in it, they're just well, whatever, unless it's really awesome and the teacher is really good, but most of the time they're off task, talking to each other, playing. But he says he feels his students are more on task and they're more into the lessons and they're more encouraged to learn, they're more motivated. So basically, all teachers love it, all principals love it. It's the way of the future, and they just want to get the students accommodated to that way. But that is all for me. So
today
anything else you want to say?
Yeah, today we've covered how these handheld technology is being used. We got some feedback on a study conducted asking teachers how they felt about this technology. Bridget gave us a ton of information of how administrators feel and are using this technology, and some more info on how teachers felt. And she also shared a personal situation that gave us some really cool information. Hope you guys learned a lot. Bye.
Thanks.